Thank you, and welcome to In Living Color. I'm Keenan Ivory Wayans. We got a great show for you tonight. Before I get started, I'd like to introduce a few folks to you. My DJ that keeps the party rocking all night long, SW1 in the house. And of course, you gotta say hello to all my fly girls. Starting over here with Carrie Ann, Lisa, Deidre, Michelle, and Carrie.
The original In Living Color fly girl is someone who is beautiful, has a gorgeous body, and has her own personal style.
Somebody that has their stuff together, has got all the moves.
The kind of girl every man dreams of having, and the kind of girl every girl dreams of being.
That's a fly girl.
You walk on the moon, float like a balloon. You see, it's never too late and it's never too soon. Take it from me, it's alright to be in living color. And how would you feel knowing prejudice was obsolete and all mankind danced to the exact beat? And at night it was safe to walk down the street. In living color.
We want to introduce you to the lady behind all the steps on the show and her assistant right here. That's Rosie Perez.
My first season of In Living Color was hectic. It was crazy. I was putting in 10 to 12 hours a day. And because I had to pick the music, edit the music, clear the licensing for the music, pick the guests, the performing guests, and then teach the fly girls the numbers. And everyone was so new to the business in kind of sort of a way. And it was just kinetic. The energy there, it was electric. And hip hop was huge in New York, and it was huge in the music, but it wasn't huge in the mainstream. I told Keenan, I said, they don't know how to do it. And he goes, well, then that's your job to teach them how to do it.
I was a technical dancer. I didn't know what hip hop was, but I think if you start out doing like ballet, it's kind of like the core of dancing. I think you can do anything.
All the girls had, kind of dance backgrounds. So for me, it was pretty interesting to just mix like my kind of street dancing or hip hop dancing with more of the technical stuff, which is what Rosie did.
We only had 4 days to teach them 8 numbers. And even though they were only 30-second spots, still they had to be all unique on their own. And it was crazy. There was a lot of times I could hear the fly girls cursing me out under their breath.
She was definitely a drill sergeant. Don't let her tell you otherwise, okay?
Do that, Deidre. Do that step right there.
We worked harder than everybody on In Living Color, let's just say that. We worked from first thing in the morning till the wee hours at night.
Had them doing flips, we had them twisting their bodies here and there and just rolling all over the floor, and it was fantastic. I had carte blanche from Keenan Ivory Wayans, but the FCC, the censors would come in and they can't hump. They can't hump on the ground. I go, can they hump on the air? No, they can't hump on the air. They can't hump on the ground. I said, well, can they hump on the rises? No humping. I said, okay, how about pumping? Okay, pumping is allowed. Okay, girls, no humping but pumping.
Nobody had ever seen this before, and I think Keenan was like, you're gonna set a standard for dancers out there, and nobody, I think other than like Solid Gold, they had something where the dancers were like put out front.
The fly girls just took off.
We had a lot of people watching us and doing everything that we did. They wanted to dress like us. They wanted to be like us. So they knew we were like a special group, and they wanted us to know it too.
I was just excited that Keenan had enough faith in me to bring hip-hop to the mass media.
The fact that, we got so much play in the beginning, I think that's the most that I'm proud of.
To all be doing what we love to do and letting, America see us at our best.
They were just awesome girls. They taught me a lot about dance and choreography. I never admitted that to them ever. But they did. It was a team effort. It wasn't just Rosie Perez's Fly Girls. It was In Living Color's Fly Girls, because we all collaborated, and that's why it was so great.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Ben Gay.
I ain't gonna touch it.
Ben did.
Let's face it, women see me, they wanna be me.
You walk on the moon, float like a balloon. You see, it's never too late and it's never too soon. Take it from me, it's I to be.
Hi, I'm downtown Julie Brown.
And how would you feel knowing prejudice was obsolete and all mankind danced to the exact beat? And at night it was safe to walk down the street.
Man, I couldn't even go near the heat, man.
Now this is art.
Heating up some ham hocks and my ponytail caught on fire.
Homie, don't play that.
I think to a large extent the reason that In Living Color was as successful as it was because there was a really clear vision of what the show was going to be.
Arsenio!
And it was because Keenan really knew what he wanted to do.
Now, I couldn't begin the show without introducing a very good friend of mine. Stopped in tonight. We were hanging out at the China Club last night. A real party animal. Won't you please give it up for my main man, Pope John Paul.
All the pistons were working, man. It was all rhythm. Right director, the right writers, everything was happening, man.
In just 10 minutes, count them 5 10. You didn't think I could do that, huh? 10 minutes, you two can look and sound just like Milli Vanilli.
There was more freedom on In Living Color. There was more opportunity for the cast to contribute.
We did this pilot, and it was fun. It was great. It was buck wild. I mean, we did everything, anything we wanted to do.
You better give me back my scarf.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
I didn't think it would ever get on because no network would put this on. It was too outrageous.
That pilot sat around for 6 months. I knew that when that pilot got on the air, what it was gonna do. You know, it was just simple. I mean, it was just simple fundamentals of just entertainment. Just straight funny.
Get back to work, you crusty old heathen!
Oh, Lord. I thought I flushed my toilet.
Everybody had seen the pilot to In Living Color. It wasn't called In Living Color. It was just, dude, what did I see you do? This was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Ain't that the truth, Ruth?
Somehow the tape got out and it started circulating around town. And it was almost a year before we got picked up. Everybody saw it. I would do a guest spot here, I would do a film there. Everybody had seen this thing. And it got to the point, I think Barry Diller was the president then. They didn't know if they were gonna pick it up. Vanity Fair either reviewed it or did an article on this really funny, incredible pilot. So they were almost forced to pick it up, and after that, it was on.
More money, more money.
In Living Color.
The king, ladies and gentlemen. The king.
Marlon, who's, Keenan's little brother, was still living at home, and they said after they showed the pilot, they called Marlon and he said, "You stopped crime in New York."
Yo, all you bad bargain hunters out there, welcome to the Homeboy Shopping Network. Yo, we're the host with the most. I'm Wiz, this the Iceman. Son, yo, show them what we got. All this stuff, man. It's like a warehouse sale.
Everybody stayed home to watch this.
For your automotive needs, we got car phones, We got car stereos. We got car alarms. And if you act now, we could probably get the car. Right?
It was an immediate hit. Finally in my career, I was on the hippest show on TV, which was great.
This ain't the Oprah Winfrey Show? Excuse me.
We had so much fun. I mean, just so much comedy, so much talent, knowing you were part of something that was special.
Captain, intruders are approaching the bridge, sir. Who are you?
I am the Minister Louis Farrakhan.
From a production standpoint, the two shows, Saturday Night Live and In Living Color, were different. Basically, at a very basic level, because Saturday Night Live, of course, was live. And In Living Color had the benefit, the advantages of being on tape.
We accept the real you at Hefty World Condominium Estates. Hefty World accepts you because it's a specially designed condominium community just for plump or husky people. The second you arrive, our 24-hour forklift service picks you up and whisks you home. Where condominium attendants roll you up the reinforced ramp to your extra-wide entranceway.
The fact that it was on tape enabled us to be a little bit more daring, take some more risks, up the ante in terms of production value, and do things that you couldn't do under the restraints of live television.
Let me tell you what you were thinking. You were thinking that you would leave us sitting home barefoot and pregnant while you go out hanging out with your friends, hanging out in my condo on Lakeshore Drive, eating at my restaurant, spending out my money. That's what you thought.
As we started producing the show, and as the show was going on, you could see more and more that it became more important, and it was just turned into this big phenomenon.
They finally gave us a chance to do what we do.
The most productive is when we just kind of went out there.
Hey, that's mine. So? Wait a minute, why you do that, boy?
Because I wanted to, duty brain.
You better shut up.
Brothers! There's no way to settle things. There's nothing to be gained by fighting. Unless you get paid for it.
Don King, are you causing trouble again?
No, Miss Patterson.
This was like the closest to being in a repertory company, because if it was our sketch, then we were the lead performer in that sketch, and then all of the other people in the company would play smaller roles. So it was really even and up and down and in and out, and you got to play different things all the time. And you were free to come in with the smallest role. If you could make it funny, like on Snack and Shack, I just was some old dude sitting there, and I just started yelling stuff out.
I'd like a new fork.
Your fork is dirty. Oh, baby, that ain't nothing but a little bit of dried up cabbage.
Everybody was in it, and that was the most fun when we all worked together.
His wig itching. Feel like something done crawled up under my head and died.
Disgusting. Listen, I'd really like to speak to the owner, please. May I please speak to the owner?
Oh, my hair falling out on me. You want to speak to the owner?
Yeah.
Leon, lady over here wants to speak to you.
I can make a booger talk.
All the actors had different sketches and stuff that they could do.
I was supposed to be the father in the Headley sketch, but I couldn't really do a Jamaican accent. It sounded like a leprechaun. So that went to...
Hi, you boys.
Yeah, so that was passed on to Damon.
Aren't you on a business trip?
Well, I'm on a vacation.
Vacation from how many jobs? One job! You lazy goat, you have some great big hairy nurse sitting up here in the business class with hard-working people. You should be back there in the lazy class.
No, but I purchased a business class ticket.
Well, I gotta tell you something. Your ill-gotten lazy money is no good here. This class is for hard-working business people. Get out! Security!
Security here!
Get up, you're under lazy arrest. Get in the back, you lazy goat.
Lazy man, go!
Keenan was good at taking what we already had and then enhancing it. So Keenan would step back. Like, if you had a character that you were working and he liked the character, he'd let you work the character with the writers, work your stuff, work your sketch, then he'd come in later and he'd fine-tune it.
Yo, that girl ugly, man.
That's the best kind.
What?
I said the ugly one's the best kind, man. You don't ask for much.
We had Homie the Clown.
Are you a real clown?
No, I'm your daddy. That's the clown.
We had Benita Boutrell, which was a character of Kim Wayans.
I know everybody in this neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Yeah, girl, there's some fine people in this neighborhood. There's a lot of trash, too. But I ain't one to gossip.
But he never messed with our natural stuff. He never messed with stuff that we had going inside of us. You know, he would pull us to the side and sort of just, you know, mold it, you know, and enhance it, but he never got in the way of our own creative process. If we had something, man, he just let us go with it, man. He let us go far, too.
Guys can't get enough of me. They're always singing, oh, baby, I love you. I need you. Bull. Just give me the goods and get out of here. I'm through with you.
Keenan was out front. Keenan did not pit, you know, actor against actor. He really encouraged everybody to be their best.
Keenan was the one that was the driving force of it, and he was also the one that kind of turned the show into something different and making it something special.
Ma, do you know what they say about you out there? Huh? Greasehead, do you know what they say about you? They say that the reason you're in a beauty school is because you're too stupid to go to a regular school. I happen to think they're right. But when I'm through with you, you'll be the smartest dumb people out there. What do you want, ugly? I don't want to go.
Keenan wanted the cast to give us as much energy as they had and to make every contribution that they wanted to make and to make the sketch, you know, their own and to make it as good as they could make it.
What makes you think you can be a beautician? Huh? What makes you think you can give beauty tips to somebody? Look at yourself. You're ugly, boy. Is your parents ugly? Yeah. Well, you gonna grow up to look just like them? If you got ugly parents, you might as well just jump out the window. You use chemicals in your hair? No. Do you use chemicals in your hair? Yeah. Now you got a bad perm and you're ugly. Don't worry about another ugly boy with a bad perm. Just go on and jump, son. Okay.
He was the best producer I ever worked for because, honestly, he made everything better that he touched. You would bring a sketch down to him that wasn't working on the floor, and he would make 2 or 3 really quick suggestions because his vision was really clear.
Cinderella wanted to meet the prince. Now everybody's talking about Prince. Let me tell you something about Prince. Prince is nothing compared to me. That's right, Prince could not sit next to me on my throne unless he's in a high chair. Oh, that's right, I've seen him, that little tiny man, posing naked on a horse. Trying to cover up with one hand. If I had to cover up one hand, why bother? Shut up.
Keenan's mandate was just be funny, be true to ourselves, and push ourselves to the limit. And that's what we did. You know, we wrote, you know, we did improv, you know, we did spur of the moment everything, man.
Oh, that's right. I can't tell this story no more. I have to tell you the real story. That's right. Everyone stole from me. Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles, I was blind first. Oh, yeah. I'll be that first. Oh, Diana Ross, tall, glamorous woman. You know who did that first. Oh, and James Brown stole my hair, stole my cape. He's in prison right where he belongs. Oh, yes, he is. And you know, Papa's got a brand new bag now. Probably got some shoes to match. Shut up.
Keenan had a real sense of excellence as far as comedy went and as far as performance went. And he really pushed us a lot. But a lot of us were equipped for that, too. You know, a lot of us were that kind of machine.
You all must be very, very proud of your success.
Well, we first started out...
Will you come back and do another song for us? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Fine One Mammal.
He had a very clear vision, but was always open, you know, to include others' thoughts, ideas.
If a sketch didn't work with one person, we would pass it down or say, well, why don't you try it? Who can do a good Mike Tyson?
Let's say hello to Mike Tyson.
Marvin. How you doing, Chuck?
Hi there, Mike. How are you?
Well, I gotta say, I'm really ecstatic to be here.
The individuals that I work with on In Living Color were and are among the most genius people I've ever been around in the business. You know, they all are so multifaceted and so multi-talented, and also just very balanced out humans too.
The thing that most stuck out with different cast members was their ability to do characters.
Like this the other night. He says to me, he says to me, let me know if I hurt you. If you hurt me, I says the last time I saw something that looked like that, it had an eraser on the end of it.
You know, the more characters you can bring to, you know, the show, the better off, you know, it is for the writers.
That
skeleton is an example of biological petrification and is to be used for scientific purposes only.
Oh, yeah? Well, I think it looks like your mom.
Does not!
Keenan wanted one white woman and one white guy. So when we were thinking of that, and we saw many people, he had mentioned, oh, there's this guy who worked with Damon who's really funny. You know, we should think about him.
The American Heritage Dictionary defines a transition as an instance or process of changing from one form to another. So this is one transition.
I remember watching and thinking, my God, this guy is doing incredible things with his body and his face. What is that? But needless to say, he was an amazing addition to the cast.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Jim really goes all out. Those were the sketches that really, you know, were sort of wild and different.
Welcome to the first meeting of Complete Self-Defense for Women. I'm Bob Jackson. I have a black belt in karate, and I've studied martial arts for over 20 years.
Jim, as the show got on, just got better and better and better. He was somebody who you would just see grow comedically every week and grow more confident.
It was pretty outrageous, you know, and it got bigger and bigger as it went along. I mean, Vera DeMilo was not anything like it turned out to be when we did it in rehearsal hall. You know, sometimes the cast would come out of makeup and wardrobe, and you say, that's what they're going to look like when they do this? You know, you never really had an idea.
Jim specialized in the physically grotesque characters because he was so rubbery himself.
Oh, baby, she is hard as a rock. Magnificent!
It was true, it was fun, it was creative, it was, you know, just a slice of everything. I mean, it took chances, it was edgy, men on film, you know, and just think about that.
There was some kind of curtain, it comes up, and it's raining men.
And now, Public Access presents Men on Films.
Hello, I'm Blaine Edwards, and I'm Antoine Merriweather, and welcome to Men on Films.
We would take totally straight movies that had no homosexual point of view, no gay point of view, and just put it in there. And once we found that, that was the key to the characters, I think.
Now I'd like to talk about an exciting new film, Karate Kid Part 3. It's all about men working out their problems in a very physical way. It was all so primitive. And you know, I really enjoyed Mr. Miyagi, played by little Pat Morita. Ooh, and that Ralph Macchio. 3 words, fabulous.
Damon and I started, and immediately people just howled.
I have to disagree. I disagree. There's just too much violence in this movie. Don't get mad.
As I remember, Damon and I just thought up a snap for that first sketch and worked it out and went out there.
Now I'd like to talk about a film I've been anxiously waiting to see, Great Balls of Fire.
I ain't gonna touch it, but the title alone gets 2 snaps up.
So we do the sketch, it kills. The next day, my agent calls and she's like, oh, they're doing 2 snaps at Columbia. Hold on, I'll call you back. They're doing 2 snaps at Paramount. This is gonna be huge.
Welcome to Men on Art. It's Michelangelo's Statue of David.
Gasp and swoon, I just caught the vapors.
Welcome to Men on Books. Little Women. Hated it, Moby Dick. This book gets the yet unheard of Zorro snap in Z formation.
There were times when we couldn't get through tape, tapings or rehearsals because it'd be so funny.
One of the favorite things was the wino.
My name is Anton, and this is my house / bathroom / kitchen / backyard / library.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Because you know what? Most of the winos that I knew growing up were hilarious. They were hilarious. And he just got it right.
Now let's get started, shall we? Now, in order to add on this new room, we're gonna have to make a new doorway. So what do? We mark it with an X, and then we cut the hole.
Wait a minute, David Allen Greer, my favorite is when, like timber?
My name is Calhoun Tubbs, known to my friends as Hard Fingers. See, that's because back in 1947, I once played the guitar for over 36 hours straight, for no reason at all. That's right. I wrote a song about it, like the kid here go. I played guitar for 36 hours. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. And I remember the producer, Tamara Warwick, used to get so angry at me because you would hear my cackle, while they were doing the taping. I couldn't help it.
So far, I done wrote over 12,000 new songs, and ain't none of them longer than 13 seconds.
Homie the Clown was huge.
Homie.
Yeah? I don't think so. All right, how about a magic trick?
Yeah!
Who got $1?
I do, homie. Here you go, homie.
All right, I fold it once. Ooh. Twice. Now it's gone. Ta-da!
3 champs and a baby. Huge.
Whose baby is this?
Dear champ, remember your New Year's Eve party? Well, here's your baby.
Well, as you can see, this is a champ. That can be any one of us. We're all at their party,
Well, it's signed Judy.
Oh,
Judy. Yeah.
Well, maybe we should take turns with the baby, too.
If there was one that defined me,
can't touch this.
The Hammer. I did MC Hammer.
Can't touch this.
And that's what defined me and gave me my identity.
My pants so baggy when the move it ain't hard. Make you wanna say, oh my Lord, hey Hammer. Do you really have a weenie with pants like that? You look like a genie, they give me a real nice breeze like a big red hammock under coconut trees. They're cool now. Are you getting my drip? And this is a dance you can't touch.
People were like, man, that's Tommy Davidson. Nobody can do that. That guy does that.
Break it down.
I was like the younger player on the show. So I just kind of got in where I fit in and, learned as I went, and so it wasn't intimidating because I was more naive.
Can we smash the cream pie in your face? Like if you're doing your clowns and stuff.
Yeah! I think you got it backwards, son.
My mother used to say, why they always gotta be putting something on you? Why you gotta be the one to get the flour and the milk on your head? Why you always gotta be hit by the sock? I'm like, Mom, it's TV, okay? It's TV, you know? I don't know, I fell in some of the sketches, I fell into the Fall Guy. And it was cool.
Now, how do you feel about yourself?
Totally dissed, homie.
That's why homie don't play that.
One of my biggest lessons that I learned on In Living Color was how to play the straight. See, because I'm nuclear. You know, I'm all chi. I'm all talent going forward. I'm like a, you know, positively charged. Funny, you know. But then I got balance because I got to play across from Jim Carrey on things. The night acted went awry was a departure point for a long descent to a place stranger than nightmares, a place crueler than hell. He's entered a place called the vortex of fear. We always had our own sense of humor. We always had our own sense of ourselves, our own sense of our own expression, you know, but through hip hop and just through the whole film and television movement that came about, it was just that now America was getting to see it.
I remember when Keenan said how he wanted to have, you know, when he was describing the show, how he wanted to have his DJ. And instead of his in-house band, like Saturday Night Live, have his dancers, you know, known as Fly Girls. And I thought, what would that be?
You walk on the moon, float like a balloon. You see, it's never too late and it's never too soon. Take it from me, it's I to be in living color. And how would you feel knowing prejudice was obsolete and all mankind danced to the exact beat? And at night it was safe to walk down the street in living color.
I knew Rosie from Do the Right Thing and actually introduced Rosie to Keenan to choreograph the show. She just had so much raw talent and, you know, to me, it spoke at the time.
Rosie from Buckwild, Brooklyn, she knows what's happening in the city.
Keenan had enough faith in me to bring hip-hop to the mass media. I love dance, and I really wanted to let the world in on that culture. And I wanted it so bad to be as authentic as possible.
In living color.
Ladies and gentlemen, the star of Night Court and her own television show, Miss Marsha Warfield.
I think the legacy of In Living Color is its fearlessness. Keenan Ivory Wayans and his family were fearless. They just didn't care about popular opinion. They didn't care about who was insulted, who was offended.
Hi. I'm Marsha Warfield. You know, Keenan asked me to come host a show for him tonight. And the first thing I'm gonna do is change the way they do things around here. I'm gonna get rid of these little tired tramps. Oh, they gone already. Good.
The census would be there, you know, on Friday night, you know, looking at the notes, you know, and Keenan would come over and say, basically do your shit. Do what you do. Don't worry about them. I'll worry about them. So we was like, all right, he shouldn't have told us that. He should have told us that. I mean, they were always in trouble because we just went for it every time. We didn't care.
We never were privy to the battles at Tamara, and Keenan and those guys would battle with the network. I mean, a lot of it, like when the Headleys first came on, they would curse, you know, Jamaican cursing, Bumbo, blood, clot, Johnny.
You look like Isaac from the Love Boat. And we all know he hasn't had a job in a long time. Boy, put a drink up there and stand at the plane while I take care of the passenger. Put this, you lazy coconut blood clot. Get out of this.
They didn't know what we were saying, you know, until finally, I'm sure members of the Jamaican community wrote the station and said, this is what they're saying. What we would do is we would bombard them with inappropriate language, and they didn't know. They couldn't stop everything, so a lot of it would go out.
I love man. I have always loved. I was just waiting for the right man to come and sweep me right off my feet. Just sweep me off my feet, not use me like a ride at Disney World!
You know, the bottom line in the message that was coming across in the show was it wasn't racist and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't sexist and, you know, It wasn't anti-gay, and it was pro-people. It was a very progressive show.
We were able to create, a cohesive show that actually worked, that was funny, that had something to say.
Marilyn was nothing but a slut. I mean, 2 Kennedys and a mafioso, that trash was working overtime.
The show gave the country permission to laugh at things that they hadn't laughed at before.
It was special. It was tough. It was hard. I felt so proud to be, attached to this show, and everybody that worked on it did, because it was just something that, had never really happened, especially with the multicultural influences and, and having a diverse cast.
Hit my hand. Harder. That's the hand.
It was in the top 10, like, as soon as we got to early summer, and I was shocked. For a Fox show to hit the top 10 is not an easy thing to do. A lot of people have to be tuning it in. And usually it was the same way on Saturday Night Live when you knew you'd done a good show and you'd go out for breakfast the next morning, you'd hear people talk about stuff you'd written. I mean, In Living Color was the same way. It was just sort of a water cooler show where the next day after it aired, you heard people talking about it.
It just was honest. It was the kind of jokes that you would have sitting in your living room with your friends and you knew nobody else was watching, so you could say and do whatever you wanted. That's what In Living Color was.
Can you guess my wife's weight?
Okay, she's about, I'd say, 1 fat bitch.
I remember that first season, and it was Jim Carrey. I was like there, cynical me, in my dressing room, and he's like, this is history. This show's a historic show. We're gonna look back, and this show's gonna be, go down in history as this great and important show. And I'm like, shut up. Is he nuts? Next thing I know, they're gonna give him money to do a movie.
Okay, Rodney, give me the good stuff.
The hardest thing I ever did, man, was staying away from that activator, man. My hand was just, I just needed that activator in my head. Oh, yeah! Yes, it was terrible, man. But I'm on my way back, man. Next week, I'm going to get a flat top. Oh, yeah!
I came out of there with a sense of knowing how to coexist with a group of people, still be able to make my contributions, but have my priority be the whole.
In Living Color was a show that came along at the right time, that was on the right network, that found its audience, that brought some incredibly talented people to television who hadn't been given a chance to really show all the talent that they had. And, Jim Carrey is In Living Color's legacy. The Wayans are the legacy. Keenan and Damon and Sean and Kelly and Tommy. The cast is as much of the legacy as all the tapes that are, still in the vault.
We're gonna have to give this one 2 snaps up in a circle.
There he is, the man in charge. Hey, Blackstone, give me a hug, man. Hey, good to see you. Look here. You're doing dynamite work on this little thing you're doing right here. How could 2 young black strong brothers like myself get into this funky business you do?
My number is in purple, right there. You see that?
This one in crayon.
Right, I'm at my mom's house.
I think I can help both of y'all.
Keenan, somebody told me about an after party. We trying to book it.
Well, these people escort you there. Security.
All right. Hey,
time for all the time.
In living color. In living color.
Everybody talked about they should do a black SNL. They should do a black Saturday Night Live. But nobody had ever done it. Keenan was the one that said, let's do this, and actually did it.
The reason the show was called In Living Color was because Keenan really wanted it to be about all colors, and he wanted it to be kind of a melting pot. But for whatever reason, it turned toward mainly a black sensibility.
Santa don't live there anymore. It's homie claws.
How come you don't got white hair and white beard?
Oh, surround my face with white so I can look some sort of damn North Pole negative. I don't think so. Homie don't play that.
You have to look at the time that the show debuted. It was a really interesting time in terms of black culture, making inroads into, say, mainstream culture in ways that hadn't happened really since the early 70s.
Joy, we're back in Brooklyn, all right? All right? In Brooklyn, it's joy, not joie, okay? It's not Jack K, all right? It's Jackie. It's not Sade, all right? It's Sadie.
You look at something like In Living Color as being very much part of this historical and cultural moment when, black culture, which throughout the 80s had been pretty much absent with the exception of Cosby.
Welcome back to the Miss Black Person USA beauty pageant at the Lola Falana Recreational Center in beautiful downtown Motown, Detroit City. Give yourselves a hand with it.
Things were exploding on the comedy front. There was like this black comedy, hip-hop renaissance that was happening, but it hadn't happened on TV yet.
The landscape was much smaller, much more focused. So I think something like In Living Color had potentially a bigger audience because there were just fewer options.
Let me give you one of our cards. You know I'm first out. Howard. Bam!
Everybody said, oh, we need a positive black image on television. And, Bill Cosby came on, and what was more positive than that? And racism still didn't disappear.
In fact, we've written a very special song just for this show.
Well, let's kick it off, brother.
Shall we?
Problems and blacks seem to go hand in hand. Wherever they roam in this glorious land, we'll help them with customs, we'll help them with laws, and we'll try to solve all the problems they cause.
All righty.
In Living Color was pretty edgy. What you started to get in the late 80s and early 90s was a younger generation of African Americans, people who, were expressing themselves differently than, their parents and grandparents.
The pyorrhea, which has me. You got me, brother. The diarrhea.
Okay.
Moving toward the angina or vagina, depending on how much time you got.
Man, you are Metamucil.
I know.
The show definitely had a point of view. I guess in a larger sense you could say that it was Keenan's point of view, but it was sort of his point of view as gleaned from his own experience and from his knowledge of and his constant keeping in touch with his community and knowing how people were reacting to things.
No, nobody better say nothing bad about Miss Jenkins, because that's when Benita loses. That's when Benita goes off. That's a fine woman, fine woman. Just don't let her take a wig off. Head so bald you can see her thoughts.
Everybody stayed home to watch this. So it was immediate. It was immediate, and after that, then you saw Def Jam, Def Comedy Jam. Then it was, I think there was a show like Uptown Comedy Show. I mean, there were all these black kings of comedy. I mean, I think Living Color was a precursor to all of those types of shows, because before that, no one really knew how and to do it and if it would be successful. So after we came on, then there were tons of shows.
You were seeing young black comedians with a different take than, we had seen. And I think, again, that was why it worked so well, because it was this youthful energy coming from a very different place than Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, or Bill Cosby.
Eddie Murphy was back in another 48 hours. I'm sorry, this movie just got off on the wrong track. I feel that they should have spent more time where the real story is, in the prisons. I'd like to see more about them old sweaty men's, all together in them tiny little cells with no one to turn to but each other's.
Ooh, drop this. I get it.
It was broad and it was distinct and diverse, that you would have a Jim Carrey with this real physical comedy alongside, Homie the Clown, which was, funny, but at the same time sort of conscious and pointed, you know, and they could both exist, you know, in the same show.
What is your affliction, brother?
I can't move my leg.
You can't move your leg. Well, let me get the spirit. Let me put my hand on it. I think I feel it. Oh, here it is. This is what's been holding you down. This wall has been holding you back, brother. You are healed. Get on out of here. Oh.
Praise the Lord, the spirit has been lifted.
And I think as part of the generation that sort of came up after the civil rights movement, our generation is much less sensitive to the things that our parents and grandparents were sensitive to.
May your liquor be cold, your women be hot, and all your problems slide off like snot. Drink up, man.
It just was honest. It was the kind of jokes that you would have sitting in your living room with your friends and you knew nobody else was watching, so you could say and do whatever you wanted.
Shahrazad Ali. You've seen her on Donahue.
And it's every black man's right to slap a black woman in the mouth.
She's Shahrazad Ali, the author of The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. You've read her book. Now, get her new how-to video.
We all kept looking over our shoulders to see if the censors would come down or the networks come down.
Your wife finds out you're having an affair.
With my own sister?
Look,
What do you give your wife? A dozen long-stem roses. B, the necklace you were going to give your girlfriend. Or C, an open-handed slap in the mouth. Now, if you said C, you're well on your way to becoming king.
No one was safe. Nobody was safe. And that's what true comedy is. It was an equal opportunity employer of bad, tasteless, incredibly brilliant jokes.
Thank you. I'm a man of few words. And I'd like to say to all those who never believed in the power of the handicap, there's a new sheriff in town. And this is his badge.
What hip-hop culture brought along with it, and Living Color certainly worked in this vein, was the sense of keeping it real. And real might not always be pretty. You know, it might not always be pristine.
Call 1-900-YT-GUILT now and let one of our angry Afro-American operators put you in your place.
Mr. Farrakhan, I have one more confession. I'm sorry your time is up. But wait! I was just about to denounce my race! Listen, if I call you back, will you browbeat us some more? Certainly, you small-minded, anal-retentive piece of trailer trash. I threw that one in for free. Thanks! We'll call right back.
You know, a lot was happening leading up to In Living Color. There was a surge going on, period. Hip-hop was starting to go real national.
We're talking about a period of time when hip-hop culture is moving from being, you know, a sort of subculture only appreciated by those who were part of the subculture to becoming a culture, you know, at large.
Rosie was tied into the hip-hop community completely, totally. A lot of those groups, as I recall, she was responsible for getting on TV.
I really wanted to let the world in on that culture. I wanted it so bad to be as authentic as possible.
If you were hip to that, cool, and if not, then you were sort of, you know, out of pocket and really outside of the conversation.
I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
Living Color was really at the forefront of putting black culture front and center. It made a lot of stars. A lot of people have been, you know, doing very well since that time.
In Living Color would never get done today because of political correctness. The characters on Living Color had their own dignity, whether it was a warped dignity that other people, you know, don't appreciate, that's one thing. But to them, they had a kind of dignity and an integrity that carried them above any kind of anyone else's idea of what they should or should not be. And that's what was beautiful about it.
That's why we're going to give this one the one-time only patty cake snap. Tell a friend. Tell a friend, child.
I think the legacy of In Living Color is its fearlessness.
I think he needs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
It's a show that spoke an urban language and really looked the way America truly looks.
And that sensibility is no longer foreign because Living Color has been on the air.
In living color.
Touch me in the morning and then just walk away. Wrote a song about it, like a hit. I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
Come on, I showed you places on your ceiling you ain't ever seen.
And I ain't one to gossip, so you ain't heard that from me.
Let me give you one of my business cards. You know I'm fresh out. Howard.
Damn!
I'll come to be all I can be. Cause I've been what I've been and it ain't paying too well.
The first season, I think, opened a lot of doors.
Yo, with this 2-inch steel master key, no doors will be closed to you. Windows, neither.
By season 2, we had some characters that could be brought back.
Who says you gotta be in film to get an Oscar? Not anymore.
That's the goal, you know. The audience will tune in to see those characters.
First up, we have Die Harder. What a way to go. 90 minutes with Mr. Bruce Willis.
Oh, yes, don't tempt my tummy with the taste of nuts and honey.
People loved the characters. It wasn't just that they could anticipate what kind of jokes, but you actually really cared about these characters to some extent.
Next week, we'll be looking at Air America, starring Mel Gibson and Lil Robert Downey Jr.
Pilot to co-pilot, we're going down in flames.
They would just scream, you know. It wasn't just a laugh.
If Damon walked through the door as Homie the Clown, I mean, you'd have 5 minutes of applause, you know, before he ever said anything.
Welcome all, welcome to Homie Cheese, where kid can be a kid, unless he get on my damn nerves.
The network would certainly put some pressure on us to do that. And say, well, where's the Homie the Clown sketch this week? Well, you know, we did one last week. Well, why don't you do another one? We said, well, because we don't want to burn it out. You wanted to keep them special.
So what do you want to do first?
Open my presents!
Oh, yeah, right. Open up all your presents while the rest of us stay here empty-handed watching you have fun, huh?
Yeah!
I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
Homie Claus was my favorite sketch from that season.
Hi, homie! You scream in my ear again, big kid. It's gonna be me and you. Sorry, homie.
This wonderful character, Homie the Clown, just picture him as Santa Claus in a department store. He just brought his whole attitude to that.
Here you go. But homie, this isn't no refracting telescope. It's better than that. It's an observatory. Go ahead, why don't you put it on your head? Didn't you see all the wonderful stars?
Damon is just a great sketch player. He really is.
Now, if you need a toy and can't afford one, Homie Claus will give you one.
I got money. I stole it so I can be in a gang. It's part of my initiation.
What?
My initiation.
He's an ignorant little fool.
I don't know what to call it. He just had a knack for it and just a love of getting out there and getting those laughs.
Well, I guess since it's Christmas, I should let you off with just a warning, huh? I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
Fire Marshal Bill is maybe the single most horrifying thing that's ever been on TV.
Nice to meet you, folks. Fire Marshal Bill here.
The sketch started me and my partner, Fax Barr. We did this with Jim. And Jim said, oh, I have this burn thing. And he did, let me show you something. And then so we started riffing back and forth. And then we came up with the idea of what if a fire marshal who continuously put people and families in horrible danger.
Let me show you something. Pull these up it becomes an exposed electrical outlet. Let's just say it's after dinner, you've got a fork in your hand, somebody says, hey, I got the leggies. Where?
Costume designer Michelle Cole and makeup artist, Cheryl Putak. They were really instrumental in creating these characters.
You did have some restrictions as far as how graphic you could make something look. We weren't really interested in making it look so graphic as humorous.
Good thing I knew how to drop and roll.
Your hand's on fire.
So it is.
I mean, Fire Marshal Bill, when he came out of the dressing room, I sent him back. I said, we can't do this on television. This is beyond funny. This is grotesque.
Next thing you know, your gas light goes out on your new gas range.
Hey! You're not gonna like that, are you?
Don't worry, folks. I'm a fire marshal.
After we did it the first time, and they did take my note to tone it back a little bit, the look, the second time we did it, it got bigger than it was the first time.
Let's just say you're changing the water in this here fish tank. And you accidentally fill it with gasoline, like so. Later that night, the janitor comes in, there's a power outage, he lights himself a match, and... oh! He's cooking fish sticks!
This is like a Spielberg production. These things would take all day. He'd be blowing up stuff, putting dynamite in his ass.
Oh my gosh, I hope he's okay.
Never better.
It was amazing how he would regenerate every time we saw him. He was back to normal, back to one tuft of hair, a couple of permanent burns.
Drop and roll is a good idea. But suppose you got a handful of thumbtacks. Now the fire is out. But you look like Hellraiser!
You always have to take off your PC facade that you put on when you're doing sketch comedy on In Living Color.
Hello, I'm Blaine Edward.
And I'm Antoine Mayweather.
And welcome to Men on Film.
My model was Patti LaBelle at that time, who would wear like these weird hair pieces, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
The first show we took a look at was Designing Women.
Hated it.
Now, I don't know who designed these women, but they need to go back to the drawing board.
As I remember, Damon and I just thought up a snap for that first sketch and worked it out and went out there.
We're gonna have to give the whole trip a new and improved around the world and back snap. The one time only patty cake snap. Tell a friend.
The new and improved 2 snaps, a twist, and a kiss.
People just howled. And so that was really exciting to know, okay, this is working. My agent calls and she's like, oh, they're doing 2 snaps at Columbia. Hold on, I'll call you back. They're doing 2 snaps at Paramount. This is gonna be huge.
Now, they have that new show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Well, listen, there's nothing fresh about this prince. And it's definitely not the prince I was looking for. I was looking for a purple G-string and some high heels.
People would be surprised to hear that might have been kind of tough, because that was one of the ones you had to discuss each line because you didn't want to offend. You wanted to love these characters in your home.
Next, we come to Roseanne. Hated it.
Now, that's the kind of woman made me switch in the first place.
It seemed like it was free and easy, but you were walking a tightrope with that one. And I think sometimes on the page, okay, that's funny, but maybe it's only funny in thought. Can they do the action? Can you really say these things? And I think that David and Damon just did an unbelievable job translating what was on the page to putting it on film.
Yo, let's finish this show, Tony.
Well, I don't know.
What's wrong with you, man?
Keenan did not pit, actor against actor. He really encouraged everybody to be their best and steal a scene, up to a point.
All right, Johnny. You forced me to say it. I hate you. You hear me? I hate you. I hate you. I despise you. If I never see that puppy dog face around here again, it'll be too soon. Now beat it. Scram!
Yeah, I better get out of here, because you can't be hitting a brother like that.
They all knew what they had to do, but they just wanted to get out there and and to get an opportunity, to be good and to shine and to take some of these characters that they had inside of them, give them a chance to come out.
Remember Big Ben?
Oh, how could I forget it? It was so nice of him to show us around the city.
Excuse me, Big Ben was a clown.
Well, we both know what time that was.
We would do Men On when it was funny. If a character hit on some of the other shows, like on Saturday Night Live, I think the practice was, no, you do this as many times as Lauren tells you to, or it was never that way. There was never anything that came down from Keenan. It was like, no, you guys have to do this Men On sketch, or you have to do this, Anton or whatever, Calhoun Tubbs.
Fatback ain't had no life insurance. You're about to lose the house and car. That's the standing ovation I ever got. Thank you very much. See you next time.
You live in color.
A man wins an Emmy, he becomes preeminent. He has a certain enthusiasms. Now, can anybody guess what my enthusiasms are? What it is that brings me great joy?
Shirts with loud prints.
Giving jobs to people named Wayans.
Baseball. The great American pastime. You see, much like producing an award-winning comedy variety series, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
A man writes a sketch with setups, punchlines, follow-ups. The cast gets laughs. We all get laughs.
Yeah.
But what happens if a guy writes a self-indulgent sketch? What do we get then, huh?
Nothing.
Nothing. You see, sometimes a man steps up to a typewriter thinking of themselves, trying to hit a home run, but the team gets nothing. Now, that was merely a demonstration. You see, even though we've won an Emmy, I don't want anybody resting on their laurels. You got that?
Yeah.
Good. Then let's get this show started with some enthusiasm.
Shingle roof you got there?
I'm the one with the carpet ferns.
It's so chilly out here, my nipples are hurt.
Remember this, an unexpected slap never hurt.
Here, camouflage that for me. I ain't for the gossip.
The first season, I think, opened a lot of doors, and here was just this whole audience that had a voice for the first time in their lives.
That's right. Use any sharp object to engrave your name here. Bam. Then put it on the shelf, bip, the hood of your car, or be the envy of your neighborhood by wearing this as a funky freshman giant. There you go.
People were ready. They were more than ready, and they were excited to have the show. It's just a high watermark for sketch comedy.
Come on, Herman, give it up and join the establishment.
The establishment, huh?
Yes.
You want me to put on a little monkey suit and park cars for the man, huh? Maybe if I do real good, I can move up to washing dishes. Then maybe waiting tables. Who knows? Maybe 5 or 6 years later, I'll be able to seat Whitey himself. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Yes, Herman, I would.
I don't think so.
In Living Color broke a lot of that primetime taboo. I'm sure you'll find some clips that just, you can't believe that stuff was at 8 o'clock on Sunday.
Nice dress choice.
This old rag? Fashion tampons. Because at that time of the month, you want to look good.
Our connection with the hip-hop community, that's what made it unique.
The street credential on Living Color was legit, and is legit still.
We had such a mix of writers in the room. I think we got a very good cross-section of what was really happening at that time in the culture.
Me and Eddie are best friends, and we made a pact before we got famous. Never let a woman come between us. And you are one fine, bad mamma jamma.
Mr. Prosecutor!
I'll pour barbecue sauce all over you and work you like a rib.
Mr. Prosecutor!
It's really kind of like writing boot camp, but you did feel like you were lucky to be part of something really special.
I think it got harder because the bar was raised so high. Coming out of the gate and having that kind of success doesn't happen often. The pressure to produce material at that same level was there, and it was greater than at the beginning.
The police arrested me for no reason.
Oh, come on. The police don't do that. They're your friends. They're here to protect and serve.
Keenan was not afraid of breaking boundaries, of saying things that no one else had said. It was subversive.
Hey, mister, this ain't no box. This is my house, and I live here.
Everything was so PC up to that point. There was a preciousness to comedy, and Keenan just blew that away.
I smell a lawsuit.
I smell something worse than that.
Oh, that's my new line of toilet water. Like Cher has uninhibited. Well, mine is called unflush.
He brought a raw sensibility to primetime comedy, and sketch was just ripe to do that at that time.
I'm not looking for love, just and get the out of my face.
It was real, it was honest, and I think that we didn't say or do anything that people weren't thinking.
They had a vote for affirmative action on the job today, and I vetoed it.
Why? Are you afraid that if given a position of authority in that office, that black man will repay you for your 300 years of oppression?
Yes, that's it.
Keenan was one who determined which sketches got written, which ones got on the air. The fact that his sense of humor, while he came from a very specific kind of cultural place, was universal.
I'm really glad we chose this movie. I love Meryl Streep.
I think she's prettier than I am, don't you? She's a lot prettier.
We would push the envelope so that people would see how ridiculous it is to have those stereotypes. You don't want to let people continue to exist in their ignorance.
There has always been a place for blacks at our club, as long as they're not holding one.
Sometimes by just putting it in their face and helping them see the ridiculousness of their ideas, it strikes a chord and it makes them think.
And the signing of the prohibition, you see, defecates the fluids of detention between the essence of the Euro intercourse, you see.
You didn't have to have known somebody like Oswald, the prison guy who used those words. Damon knew him, but he knew enough to know that it would make everybody laugh.
See, all you doing right now is flatulating your liquid. Because I believe it was Homo erectus that said to expose the hemorrhoidal ramification would merely delineate the colonic orifice, thereby separating the gluteus from the maximus.
Same thing with the Frenchie character that I created with Keenan.
What you got there, champagne? Oh, man, BYOBB. Bring your own round bag. That's right, I got the good stuff here.
Every single one of them was individually hilarious. They all could act. They all came off really likable. Someone you wanted to spend time with. You wanted to invite into your home every week.
What kind of a doctor are you?
I'm glad you asked. I'm a proctologist, a dermatologist, a gynecologist, a cardiologist, a brain surgeon, an eye surgeon, a nose, ear, throat, and man. And I also help run the flower shop.
It was very collaborative in that way, so that you didn't feel like you were, some sort of white, overeducated person trying to, write something you didn't know. The language was specific, but the sketches were universally funny.
All right. If you could run the world, what would you do
different.
I believe all people are nice, even though they get mad sometimes. My personal hero is someone who never got mad, who always turned the other cheek. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.
We never had the black-white issue. That never happened. And I never felt we crossed the line. I never felt that we did anything that was offensive to black people.
Please define the word joy.
Joy, sir? I do not know the meaning of the word. But the Reverend Martin Luther King did.
Some of the sketches had nothing to do with race. It was just funny.
Boy, you must have really worked your head off.
Oh, I hope it's okay. I just can't believe it. Our little girl's having her first day.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Seems like only yesterday you were in the delivery room and the doctor held her up and slapped her pretty face.
There was a question as to whether the Buttmans should be an appliance makeup, which means a big butt prosthetic, or if it should be a costume kind of effect that would be something that would be creative that they could take on and off, that really didn't need to blend off into their face because it was the shape of a butt. And ultimately, that's what they decided to do with it.
That's a lovely hairband.
Do you like it? I got the idea from watching a Cher video.
I love it.
There was a time when Jim Carrey played a guy that was coming to date the daughter, and there was an issue with needing a penis nose for him, and that was real fun.
This is Richard Dickerson.
I was responsible for that, and I remember carrying this across the lot to show Keenan for approval, and just the discussion that ensued about little delicate adjustments that might need to be done in order to make it fly for TV.
He's just so different.
Yeah. Who would have ever expected it? Our daughter dating a white guy.
We wrote something funny for Jim. Had nothing to do with color. It was just comedy content. We did one sketch called Tag Team. We titled everything Tag Team Televangelist, and it was one where Jim Carrey and Damon Wayans played ministers in a church, and they both took turns taking the pulpit, but their ultimate goal was just to get money from the parishioners.
Now you've seen the Lord in effect. You've witnessed the Lord's Spirit.
You were there.
Now it's time to pay the Lord.
Pay him all.
Pay that man his money.
At the end of the sketch, they actually pulled out guns and just robbed the people. That was one of my favorites, and I got a phone call from my mother on that one.
Give up the money now. Pay the Lord.
You wanted heaven, now reach for it.
This was like the closest to being in a repertory company. If we were the lead performer in that sketch and then all of the other people in the company would play smaller roles.
This stage versus Reginald McCourt?
McCourt? What kind of damn name is that for a Rasta? Black Irish.
It was really even, and you got to play different things all the time. If you could make it funny, like on Snack and Shack, I just was some old dude sitting there and I just started yelling stuff out.
I got the toe jam. Who got the peanut butter?
By season 2, we had some franchisable characters. That kind of makes it easier for writers.
Keenan's insights on what made a sketch work or what made a character pop were always pretty great.
All right, repeat after me. Silent night.
Silent night.
Homies night.
Homies night.
All was calm. All was bright. Bright like that light that this cop shined in my damn face. He knew I didn't do nothing. Threw me on the floor, put that damn videotape. Stop beating me like I was a fool. I didn't do it. He knew I didn't do it. He knew it. And y'all ain't singing.
Goal number 1, and that was to be funny. Because everybody on the show, every writer, every performer was about the funny.
The Wayans had been doing a lot of these characters since way before the show, since they were kids, really.
We did a Homie the Clown cliffhanger where he became, quote-unquote, a sellout. And we thought he was not Homie anymore.
Homie Weeds, take 5.
Hi, I'm Homie the Clown. Kids love me. Tell me, little children, why do you love Homie so?
Because you're so dumb!
I remember the audience was like, ooh, and you could hear them say, man, homie sold out. And that was just the audience when they watched it, and it like hurt their feelings.
Do what the man says. Go out and buy yourself a box of new Homie Wheats. The only cereal made from cookies, marshmallows, sugar cubes, and other nutritious little pieces of candy. Now this is a cereal a homie can play.
I also really liked Anton Jackson. That was the wino homeless guy, also played by Damon Wayans. I thought his social commentary was inventive and interesting.
I am in the business of signing up real live soldiers, maggot!
Maggot? Hey, I ain't no maggot. Hey, I ain't never been with another man before.
Handyman was brilliant.
Fax and I wrote it, and everyone said, you're never going to get this on.
Making fun of people with, various handicaps, I don't think would fly now. I mean, we were shocked at the time.
Handyman, that's the one where I think we all thought we might have gone too far.
Whoa! Up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's a giant handicap sign!
Listen, I'd love to stay and chat, but there's someone who needs my help. I'll be back. Up, and away!
Handyman was very difficult to get off the ground because of all the censor issues with the handicap lobbies and how sensitive the network was to that.
This guy's been in this stall for over an hour and a half. He's not even disabled.
Say no more. Wheel back. Something tells me this ain't gonna be pretty.
That was one where I think the only time I ever saw Keenan think, I better get some outside opinions on this one.
He played it for a handicapped organization, and the network thought that, well, this will kill it. And the organization said, thank you for including us in the joke. It's great. We love that we're a part of it.
The physically challenged have been needing a hero, and you're it. Thank you, Handyman.
That's okay, son. And remember, never underestimate the powers of the handicap.
We wanted those real laughs. We didn't sweeten our show. Jim Carrey, oh my God, that man would do anything in the world for a laugh.
You shall never taste my ambrosia, Keenan. For I am Viracosa of British Caledonia, keeper of Nautilus, and deceptor of urinalysis.
In season 2, he very much began creating his own kind of stuff, like Fire Marshal Bill.
Say one night you're drifting off to sleep on the couch, and the pipe falls out of your hand like that. Now you start dreaming that you're having a little barbecue, you pull out a can of lighter fluid, boom! You're off.
Fire Marshal Bill would take 8 hours to shoot. Jim was very meticulous. Jim was involved in the writing of that stuff. He was involved in the props and the wardrobe.
Hey, Fire Marshal Bill, your finger's on fire!
That's nothing. I caught fire so many times I can't even feel it anymore. The trick is not to panic.
Johnny Abdul was another one we did with Jim Carrey, which was hilarious because he wanted to play a Middle Eastern rock star. The stock footage we got was an Ayatollah rally of angry, screaming Iranians, and we made it look like they were just headbanging to the music, which to me was one of the most hilarious juxtapositions.
He was so clever in how he was able to skirt any recognizable portion of any song. So any actual copyrighted part of a song, he never quoted it.
And if you act now, you'll get Wait a Minute, Mr. Postman, Stairway to Mecca, Beirut Suede Shoes, Heartbreak Hussein, Papa's Got a Brand New Baghdad, I Left My Hand in San Francisco, and who could forget his beautiful love ballad, Love Me Tender or Die Slowly.
He'd be sitting in the chair just retyping a joke until he got the wording just exactly how he wanted it. So he knew exactly what to do and what the voice of the character was.
I think he would stick around for another week or so.
Actually, my plane leaves tomorrow morning.
I don't think so.
He would sleep under his desk some nights. I remember delivering scripts to him at like 4 in the morning where he'd work on them, and so he was so involved. It makes sense where he's at now.
Vera DeMilo is a pretty buff woman.
What do you want to be?
My name's David Allen Greer. Call me. I came from a different discipline. I was just an actor. I didn't come like with a pocket full of characters.
Writers never work when you need them. Mr. Screechy works whether you need him or not.
I remember when I hadn't written a character, and Damon came in and he was like, you have to write a character. Is there any character you want to do? And that's how he pulled Calhoun Tubbs out of me. He was like, well, let's write it now.
Fat back choked on a catfish. That stupid girl fed him the bone.
He just became that thing, and he actually did play the guitar, and he actually did write those songs. There was just a reality that he played off of that was brilliant.
Fatback had another girl in Louisiana. His wife ain't never knew.
There was an article that they brought down when Men-On became really big. They would have Men-On nights at gay clubs where they would show every sketch.
Our next stop was Sweden, best known for its beautiful buxom blondes. Hated it.
We got a letter once from a gay viewer who said, why aren't you doing Men-On more? Because it's too popular. Because the network doesn't want it to be really popular. Therefore, that's why you don't do it every week, because they're trying to control America falling in love with these gay characters. And we're like, okay, yeah, sure. So everybody read whatever they wanted to into it.
Now we come to Dick Tracy.
I love the title, but the movie just left me limp.
I know what you're saying. This is what I don't get. All the characters fit their names. Flat Top had a flat top. Prune Face looked just like a little prune. But I never got the chance to see.
There was kind of an unwritten law that if you went past a certain point, there was a thing about a chicken. They set David Allen Greer up to go out, and he had this thing about Broadway that he wanted to do, and Keenan hated it, and David Allen Greer pitched it for weeks on end, and Keenan finally agreed to let him do it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Allen Greer, and welcome to In Living Color's tribute to Broadway.
We spent days perfecting his Broadway bit, and he goes out there and he's going to do it as an opening.
Oops, look out for that taxi cab. Ow! I just got stabbed on Broadway.
Keenan puts live chickens in the studio, and they're walking around behind him, and people are just going crazy, and David Allen Greer doesn't know why. And he finally turns around, and you can see it on camera. You just see this look of just absolute, just abject humiliation on his face.
Keenan, we got a big surprise for you. One of our cast members, Tommy Davidson. Keenan, Tommy got together with some of us and he wrote a song. It's kind of like a history of Living Color and how you came about and the whole thing. And,
right.
And Tommy, could you sing it for him?
In abbreviated singing form.
It's a bad tune.
He came out here in 1979. He was doing comedy, and then things really turned out right. He went on down and did this movie called I'm Gonna Get Your Song Off. Now he's doing it living color with his brother.
Oh, that's great.
SW.
All right.
Keenan had a heavy thing about competition. He was basically like a coach. You got to come in and you got to hit your points, man. You got to come in. I don't care how much you dribble, how much you pass. When the ball is in your hand and it's your shot, you got to sink the bucket, man.
I remember the first time I fell in love. It was right after a big fight. I looked down and saw one of the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen, and it winked at me. Then I picked it up and put it back in the socket.
And I was... I was hitting all kind of threes, man. So that's what kept me on the team, too.
Tommy Davidson was always willing to do anything. And so he was always fun to write for. The BS Brothers was one that I wrote with John Bowman, and that came from Tommy and David Allen Greer, just kind of goofing off.
Bam! You're just the man I wanted to see.
We just watched them do it, and then sometimes just by listening, working with them, we're able to shape it into a sketch that felt racially specific and something that we knew that they could do.
Look here, Howard, don't push him out the car.
Interesting title. Oh, Nats.
No, you got that backwards. Let me see this here. That's Stanko.
It was a tough show to do. It was a tough show to do because you had to have your guards up.
Hold me!
Two lonely hearts came together. Just like this. Then love poured all out from their hearts. Nice and thick like. Until homie realized that it was just a trick to whiten him up. Like so. And it made his heart beat over and over and over again.
For me, the unsung heroines of the show are the women, because they were able both to be the straight people when they had to be and had really strong comedic voices at the same time, and were probably not used as much as they deserve to be.
Women were not always in just supportive roles. I mean, Kim Wans had some really funny characters that she did.
I'm a winner, and everybody loves me, Mahogany. And you can't stand it. Do you know why? Because you're a loser.
Kelly Caulfield made a tremendous contribution.
See Roseanne as she scratches her crotch, or hawks a big loogie. She spits, she scratches, she belches.
This often happens on sketch shows, and to be honest with you, I think it's a function of the writing.
I used to make a special effort to write for the women. On the pilot, I wrote a sketch called Go On Girl that Takia was great at and really killed, and they did several others after that.
Gregory, you wrote the book, The Man Who Hates Men Who Hate Women. Tell me, who are these men you hate?
Well, Shawanda, you know the type. The type of man that picks up a woman, sleeps with her, and then splits around 2 a.m.
Go on.
I figure, why split? Stick around, get some breakfast or something.
Takia was always fun. She's a really solid actress and had a very subtle sense of humor, and so it was always fun to write for her.
Your wife does something nice. And I say it's tough because a black woman ain't gonna never do nothing nice for a black man. She's sneaky, and if she does something nice, it's a trick. Watch her. Hey, baby. I got you 2 tickets to the Lakers game.
Let me see those.
Do you A, thank her and ask her if she'd like to join you? B, thank her and take your girlfriend? Or C, give her an open-handed slap in the mouth? The answer is B and C. Before you take your girlfriend, remember this. An unexpected slap never hurts.
Kim was fearless, and she would just do anything for a laugh.
Plus, I'm right on magazine, Miss Smile Bright, 1987. See?
I remember another one of the sketches I wrote was about, this is kind of a gross one. The douche is a salad dressing.
Because Summer's Dawn is not only a salad dressing, but it's also a disinfectant, a floor wax, and a douche.
We had a lot of fun writing for them.
It has such a ballsy vibe that sometimes you forget, like Kim and Benita Petrel. That was a really loved character.
There goes Althea's niece, Shawina. Oh, you look beautiful. Hair all done up in those little Shirley Temple curls. You look like a little angel. Little devil's more like it. Wouldn't surprise me none of her nappy head spun around and start speaking in tongues. But I ain't one to announce it, so you ain't heard that from me.
She just went for it. Just absolutely went for it. There was a little bit of sibling rivalry in that way, and she was out to prove that, the Wayans sisters, can do some things too.
Don't tell me you haven't heard about new Flatulence.
Flatulence?
Yes. They're the new aromatic suppositories from Poofco.
Kelly Caulfield really had the acting chops from day one. There was a tendency at first to sort of treat her in the same way that Jim Carrey had been during the pilot and part of the first season, which is she's the token white woman.
So, what you're saying then, Oswald, is that the viscous mammalian glands, which scrofulate my work, clearly disembowel the placentitude of the very recticatality of my virtue.
Exactly. Pew bow.
One of my first sketches was one for Kelly, and she was amazing in it. It was with the character Magenta Thompson, who sort of reminded me of a cable show I'd seen in New York, where someone was sort of a has-been actress.
You know, I guess I'll just show you a clip of my performance in Shaft. That was really the role that launched my film career. Paul, do we still have that queued up from last night? Roll it.
Get out of my way, bitch.
Oh, yeah. I was really something in those days.
All she wanted to do was talk about her career, and anyone who came out was just an excuse to talk about her one moment in fame.
So, Pam, you starred in a number of films in the 70s, didn't you? Coffee and Foxy Brown, Big Dollhouse, Black Mama, White Mama. I think that was the one where you kept your shirt on, wasn't it?
Kelly Caulfield came in and did this great, character from the 40s film noir period that was sort of stuck in a time warp.
Hey, can I help you?
Hiya, Johnny.
The name's Jimmy.
Jimmy, Johnny, Joey. What's in a name? Anyway, give me a double dip, black and white, and... Hey, Johnny. Don't forget the cherry.
Name's Jimmy.
Velma was just torn out of a black and white movie and thrown into life today. And this was actually Kelly's idea, and she developed the character. But we wanted to do it where Velma is black and white, and everybody else is in normal.
Have you $1?
$1? Well, I thought it would cost $0.25. Oh, fiddlesticks, I just spent my last buck at the picture show.
All right, I'll tell you what, just give me the $0.25. Bring the rest when you come back, okay?
Oh, Johnny. You're the greatest. I was nothing, a nobody, a bum in the street, but you came along and picked me up, dusted me off, and turned me into something special.
It was a very creative idea that she had, and they, did it several times.
She kind of broke that mold herself, and she found her own thing, and she said, no, I can do that, but let's try this. And it really worked, and I admired her for that.
Rosie actually brought the hip-hop to the show.
I had carte blanche in regards to what kind of artists I could book to perform live, what kind of music I can license that the Fly Girls could dance to. I would call up the record companies and ask them, tell me what your releases will be in a couple of months. I want to be ahead of the game. And they would send the releases, and whatever I liked is what was picked.
I remember at that time, the early years of hip-hop, people saying, oh, this will never last, what's rap, well, it's poetry, it's not music. Hey, all those people can just, they were wrong.
Keenan goes, what do you got, the Midas touch? The songs you pick are all become top 10 hits, and I go, I'm just that good.
Public Enemy. This was groundbreaking. It turned out that Ice Cube was on the set that day and performed with them, and it was a one-of-a-kind performance, and they did a medley of 5 different songs.
Oh yeah, in the house, we got Ice Cube, and that I'm down with the P.E. Hey yo, Chuck, man, why don't you kick it to him one time, G?
No war for all. I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened and read it and said they were suckers. They wanted me for the army or whatever. Picture me giving a damn. I said never.
Queen Latifah doing Mama said that Mama gave birth to the Soul Children. Not only did you find yourself awed by their performances, which could certainly lead you to think, well, there's going to be a future for these folks.
It's just another case of that on PTA.
Check it out.
Man.
In school, I wrote notes and took quotes from Shakespeare and other types of rhymes to show you that I care. From things like Together Forever to You're My Only One.
Only one.
Special, like I say, it was a loving one. You would say someone's knocking out my window.
It was very fun to be able to say that you worked on a show that was at that particular point cutting edge of any particular musical genre.
There was just so many people that we just broke, and because it was stuff that I liked, what I knew the kids were digging back home in New York, and I said, you know, this is great. This is great. Let the world know.
This show gave you a great forum to question how and why things are done in a really fun way.
He's excited. She's excited. Everybody's excited for... Join host Dirty Harry for Fox's new game show.
The show had already sort of been a sensation, and I feel like we were kind of given something to care and cherish and help grow.
See, now it's that very attitude that made our date such a disaster, Chuck.
What disaster? I thought it went pretty good. I mean, we both finished.
The process was hell, but the result was great. And you could just stand there in the back of the house on a taping night, and you knew where you hoped the laughs would be. And when they were there, that was just, you know, there's nothing better than that.
Say you got 3 boogers over here. And you got 4.5 boogers over here. Now I wiped 3 of them off on this plate. What do you got?
5.
No, a bad cold.
We had surplus of good stuff.
Let me give you one of my calling cards. You know I'm fresh out. Howard. Bam! All right, now, check this out.
In Living Color could still be on the air right now.
Now, this is BB's beeper number, all right? You can call me anytime.
I don't think my husband would approve.
Bam! In reverse.
In Living Color allowed people to examine some of their ideas about people who are culturally different than they are. And I think it allowed you to have the hip-hop generation, the beginnings of the hip-hop generation in your living room and realize that they're not so dangerous.
You see, when a man liposucks a woman's mammogram, it is the titillating expression between lubrication of 2 secreting adults, you dig?
Yeah. A pro-trick. Chitty bang bangs like frosted mini wheat.
I think it broke so many barriers that are now being built back up. I think it's important to see what it was like for someone to break those down.
Finally, we come to that sly fox of the network and their show Married with Children.
Loved
Hated it.
What you talking about, hated it, man? That girl is fine. The blonde one with the blonde looked like she hiding 2 midgets, man.
Blonde? Midget? Oh.
We had fun doing it, and I think the audience had a damn good time watching it.
Maybe they'll look back on that and say, hey, why don't we try that again?